Good morning, students. In this video I will explain about the different types of clutches. Okay, so clutch is a device used in transmission system, transmission system of a motor vehicle to engage and disengage the engine to the transmission. Thus clutch is located between engine and transmission. Typically clutch consists of clutch fork, thread bearing, diaphragm, cover, pressure plate, clutch plate and flywheel. Now directly we will moving towards the types of clutches. What are the different types of clutches? Okay, we will see that. Basically we have two types of clutches. Those are, first one is friction clutches and second one is the fluid flywheel clutches. Okay, and now the first one is the friction clutches. Friction clutches are again made in dry and wet type. We have here two types again. So those are dry and wet type. In this type, the transmission power is caused due to the friction between two rotating members. However, in the wet type, the coefficient of friction is less. A fluid flywheel causes energy transfer between two members due to the movement of fluid. Now the working principle of the first one, the friction clutches. Okay, friction clutches. This is the diagram you have here. So you are having here, this is the diagram, friction clutches. Now I will explain that working principle of friction clutches. The clutches works on the principle of friction. You know about the friction already, and now when two friction surfaces are brought in contact with each other and pressed, they are united due to the friction between them. If one resolves, the other one will also revolve. The friction between two surfaces depends upon the area of the surfaces, pressure applied on them and coefficient of friction of the surface materials. The two surfaces can be separated and brought into contact when required. One surface is considered as driving member and other surface is considered as driven member. The driving member is kept rotating when the driven member is brought in contact with the driving member. It also start rotating. When the driven member, it also start rotating. When the driven member is separated from the driving member, it doesn't revolve. It doesn't revolve. Now this is the diagram you are having. Now one more type here is the dog clutches. One more type is the dog clutch. Dog clutch is a type of clutch that couples two rotating shafts. So here you are having diagram of dog clutch. Diagram of dog clutch. I'll show you that. So this is what it is, the dog clutch diagram. Hope it is visible. Okay, this is the dog clutch diagram. Okay, dog clutch diagram. So it consists of again shaft A, shaft B, here dog clutch teeth. So you may observe here these are the dog clutch teeth and sliding member. This one is the sliding member and internal teeth. We are also having here, means in the dog clutch it is also having internal teeth. Now how it works, we will see that one, how it works. Dog clutch is a type of clutch that couples two rotating shaft or rotating components. not by friction but by interface. The two parts of the clutches are designed such, a, such that one will push the other, causing both to rotate at the same speed and will never slip. The dog clutches are used where slip is undesirable or clutch is not used to control torque without slippage. Dog clutches are not affected by wear in the same way that friction clutches are. The dog clutches are used inside manual automotive transmission to lock different gears to the rotating input and output shaft. The synchro mesh the synchro mesh arrangement ensures smooth engagement by matching the shaft speed before the dog clutch is allowed to engage. The good example of a simple dog clutch can be found in a Stanley Archer bicycle hub gear, where a sliding cross-shaped clutch is used to lock the driven assembly to different parts of the planetary gear train. Okay, this is what it is, dog clutch, a cone. Now next one is the cone clutch. So this is the diagram for cone clutch, and here you are having different parts of cone clutch. First one is the engine shaft we are having here, cone A, cone B, two cones you are having, the splines, shaft, clutch shaft. Okay, so this is what it is, diagram for cone clutch. Now how it works? Okay. A cone clutch serves the same purpose as disc or a plate clutch. However, instead of mating two spinning discs, the cone clutch uses two conical surfaces to transmit torque by friction. The cone clutch transfer a high torque than the plate or a disc clutches of the same size due to the wedging action and increased surface area. Cone clutches are generally now only used in two peripheral speed application, although they were once common in automobile and other combustion engine transmissions. They are usually now confined to very specialist transmissions in racing, rallying, or in extreme off-road vehicles. Although they are common in power boats, this is because the clutch doesn't have to be pushed in all the way and gear will be changed quicker. Small cone clutches are used in synchronizer mechanism in manual transmissions. So this is what it is, cone clutches. So now the centrifugal clutch. This is the diagram for centrifugal clutch, and the different parts of centrifugal clutch are the centrifugal weights, driven shaft, circular plate you are having here. This is the circular plate, friction lining, a driving shaft. So these are the different parts of centrifugal clutch. Now how it works? Centrifugal clutch is an automatic clutch which is controlled by the engine speed through the accelerator. When the engine speed increases above the certain limit, the clutch engages, and when the engine speed decreases, the clutch disengages automatically. This type of clutch design essentially consists of two members. One is driving member, which is fitted on the driving shaft, and another one is driven member, which is just a drum and encloses the driving member. The driving member consists of two curved shoes or fly weights having frictional linings on them. The shoes are anchored at one end to the back plate and are kept in position B means of coil spring. So likewise, there is a clutch which is the centrifugal clutch. Now operation of centrifugal clutch. So how it works? Okay. The driving member rotates along with the engine shaft. When the engine speed increases, the centrifugal force also increases. The certain engine speed, the shoes fly outward due to the increased centrifugal force, and they come in contact with the driven member. Now both the driving and driven member rotates together and the clutch is said to be engaged. When the engine speed decreases, the centrifugal force also decreases. Now the shoes return back to their original position due to the spring force, which results in disengagement of clutch. This type is clutch. This type of clutch is used in mopeds. A single plate clutch. Okay, this is the diagram for single plate clutch. Single plate clutch. So you are in this diagram. We are having different parts again. The flywheel is there required here. Clutch springs are there. Clutch pedal, clutch shaft, pressure plate, clutch plate, friction lining, and the engine shaft. Okay, this is what it is. These are the different parts of the single plate clutch. Okay, so now construction. The single disc or a plate clutch consists of clutch plate whose both sides are faced with a frictional material. It is mounted on the hub, which is free to move axially along the splines of the driven shaft. The pressure plate is mounted inside the clutch body, which is bolted to the flywheel. Both pressure plate and the flywheel rotate with the engine crankshaft or driven shaft. The pressure plate pushes the clutch plate towards the flywheel by set of strong springs which are arranged radially inside the body. The three levers, also known as release levers or as fingers, are carried on the pivot suspended from the case of the body. These are arranged in such a manner so that the pressure plate moves away from the flywheel by the inward movement of the thrust bearing. The bearing is mounted upon the forked shaft and moved forward when the clutch pedal is pressed. Clutch pedal is pressed. So like that, we are having here the single plate clutch. When the clutch pedal is pressed down, the linkage forces the thrust releases bearing move in towards the flywheel and pressing the longer ends of the lever inward. The axial pressure exerted by the spring provided a frictional force in the circumferential direction when the relative motion between the driving and driven member tends to take place. But if the torque due to this friction force exceeds the torque to be transmitted, then no slipping takes place and the power transmitted from the driven shaft to the driving shaft to the driven shaft. Likewise, single plate clutch will works.